Hi, welcome to the Pursuit of Truth. So, two things. One, a bit about the last podcast, whatever you want to call it, to do with the island troubles presented there, the allegations that the British government infiltrated different sides of the troubles and may be complicit in murders or bombings. The passion for the lady, I understand, where the government's coming from, this idea of there has to be a line where we move on from these things, like with every atrocity that happens. Otherwise you keep that anger, you keep that bitterness, and you can't grow. Well, I don't know, is that true or not, or is that just a sentiment? I don't know, but then of course I understand the idea of that. How can anyone grow without getting justice in a world where we talk so much about justice? But I don't know, does justice ever, is that an old ways of thinking of things, of that if someone does something, the only way you can get over it is by seeing that person hang or in prison, etc. Is it really your own battle that you have to acknowledge and sort out? I don't know whether really that does actually help you personally, but it's what a lot of people tend to hang on to because that's what they're taught through movies and etc. Remembering that most of your thought process comes from TV, comes from school, comes from being programmed. When you're a baby, you have nothing. And then your parents teach you things and they teach you their ways. And then the school teaches their ways. That's the system. And then the media backs up the system and teaches their ways, which is usually about drama and fear. And really you're regurgitating like a robot, these things. But you don't realise it because you think you're somehow special, that you're not artificial intelligence. You're a living human being with, that you're not like a robot. You think for yourself, and we always try to, like a Turing thing, and say that, the difference between artificial intelligence and humanity, whereas really there's not really that much difference because the computer is programmed. And yes, it doesn't have the ability to undo its programming, but then again, do humans have their ability to undo their programming? Because you have been programmed. It's just called school. It's just called education. It's just got a different name for it, but the same amount of the information that you've been put into your brain, your computer, is the same program software that is put into a computer. It's just they don't have yet that capacity to rebel against it. Anyway, that's not really what I want to talk about. This idea of division, that's what I wanted to talk about, and the idea of that you get caught up in these things. And this links with the other story in South Africa, where ex-President Zuma, I believe he handed himself in, and it was to do with contempt of court and corruption. I believe he's got a custodial sentence in prison for, I think it's only 15 months. But yet it's ignited South Africa with protests and violence and looting, to use the media terms, in Johannesburg, Durban, and other areas of South Africa. And just this idea of people fighting for another person, a leader, you see, that's what I don't understand. It's a loyalty that they gained. A lot of it is because in South Africa it's more tribal than, say, in the United Kingdom, where you have Zulus and Xhosas and etc., different tribes. And if you belong to one of these tribes, you stick together. I guess it's a bit like a football team here. But these things are it's almost like you're enslaving yourself. You're fighting for someone that wouldn't help you. Why would you fight? It's like governments when they get you to go to war. I can never understand that. How do they persuade you to go and risk your life while they sit in a bunker planning on pieces of paper, never take a gun, never have to shoot a man dead in the eyes, a man who, just like you, has a family, has children, has this false loyalty to the place that he was born to, as if it's as if you're somehow different because you're exactly the same. You're mirrors of each other. You're human beings. But yet it happens, and this is the same with South Africa, where people feel loyalty to President Zuma and will die for him. I think it's just under 100 deaths, over 1,000 arrests, unrest not seen since apartheid. For what? For a man that I don't think he would help you out. When he was in power, the money he used for his own home, taxpayers' money, the millions he used, rather than helping people who, in South Africa, there is still a lot of poverty, a lot of joblessness. In a world where now everyone knows how to run the system, if you want to go to a different country and see how they run it, I mean, I know that they're probably in debt to countries and that's why they're being kept in that position, but still, you know, you can't, how can you support someone who was, you know, taking taxpayers' money to make his house? And yeah, there will be some people who say, yeah, well, the Queen has her own house and she has her own budget. But no, that doesn't negate the problem. The problem is do you really need, you're going to allow your taxpayers' money that should have been feeding children, should have been giving homes, should have been fixing infrastructure, to make his house even better than it is? His house is good enough to live in. It's better than most houses that people in South Africa live with. The people who are protesting probably don't live in the house anywhere near, even before he put the millions into it. But look how we're programmed. We're programmed to be loyal to our tribes, loyal to our countries, loyal to our football teams. People, I mean, at least you could say this has a reason to fight for something, but that people will even fight for football matches. They go to a football match and they'll fight the other side just because they lost about a ball. This is the division that's been programmed into us. You know, it comes in countries, it comes in skin colour, it comes in, you know, male versus female, all this kind of thing, all this kind of power play to be more powerful than each other. But yet we're not more powerful or less powerful than anyone. That's all illusionary, because power is you know, everyone has the equal power when they're born. You just give it away more than others, or others dress it up with a white gown or a degree hat or a presidency or a royal crown. Yet we're all equal. But yeah, this is another example of how we can fight for things that don't actually benefit us. We're blindly enslaving ourselves, following these programs and carrying on these things for people that aren't helping us out. Take care, take it easy, God bless and peace.